Hi, this is a very impromptu video. Something I decided to try and do after, because today's date, 12th of September 2021. Operation Skyfire was about 5 hours ago now, and holy shit, there was a lot. With me today, of course, I have Rexy, one of the
Hello.
podcast members, and one of the usual teammates I bring up whenever I play.
Yee.
He's also probably he's also this video's coming out after my footage, so he's the one who did the thumbnail for that footage. You guys are gonna see that. It's nice. He's good with that shit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So off the bat, uh, just right off the bat, favorite moment in the event. Go.
Oh, Kevin coming back, man. I was there for his birth, his death, and then his fucking revival. Like, that was the fucking shit for me, man.
That was one of the most interesting things to see, and honestly, it was crazy. Like, cause first we see it and we're like, well, we're screwed, and but then Sloan, of course, hacks the backpacks. We neutralize him, and then she stabs us in the back, as
Oh yeah,
expected.
no, I mean it's alone what
Yeah,
you
we
expect.
kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
A little bit of details some of us might have missed. So apparently, I told you about this. The Golden Cube, Rusher's video does point it out. It's way in the back. It's like, oh, it's such a tiny thing you wouldn't notice it unless you were looking for it.
Right.
But that
Like
just
I think I might have made a mental note of it in my head, like, why is there a
right. I
golden
think I
cube
did see
over
it, but I
there?
thought it was maybe just like a bomb light getting ready.
Yeah, I don't know what I thought it was, but I wasn't paying attention to it, considering the fact that, you
Yeah,
know,
we were seeing
like there were
many.
hundreds of other Kevins.
I'd say thousands even.
Yeah, yeah, around there.
And
Um,
it's just crazy because so much of that went down there was basically how we saw it happening, and we definitely saw what Marie was talking about when she mentioned there was something bigger on there that Sloan didn't know about. Obviously,
yeah,
we know now that was technically Kevin, but I think Marie meant the scope of it, the Kevin farm, as people are starting to call it.
yeah.
Like,
Although I would just like to say that I totally called that it was Kevin.
yeah. I mean, I figured it was probably going to be because we knew Kevin was coming. We figured I
However,
figured it was probably going to be Kevin, maybe some sort of alien boss, maybe some sort of a form of the Storm King again. Like I don't know why, but just there were so many options it could have been, and I'm very glad what they chose to do. And then came the rebooting of Kevin, and that's where things got really
yeah.
interesting. Because I asked it during the footage, what occurs in our characters' minds to think if we touch this, it will come back to life.
Well, I mean, the cube did make some sort of noise showing that it was still alive.
Right,
It
right,
was just extremely drugged,
right.
to say the least. So I think like our snapshots saw and heard the cube when that happened. It was like, what's the worst it can do? Push
Right.
us back? It can't kill us now, so
That yeah
you
no,
know,
and it's
might
odd
as
to
well.
think like when we touched it, it didn't come back in its correct quote unquote correct color. It came back purple. I mean blue, not purple.
Yeah.
And
Very light blue.
that's the strange thing, right? Because it's like I think light blue is the color of rifts. If my color
Yeah.
blindness isn't fucking me here.
I mean, they're technically transparent, but they do have a
Blue
more light
hue,
blue color palette to
right?
them.
So maybe there's some sort of like I don't know. Maybe there's like it's hard to explain because we know that the cube and the 0 point are connected, but to what degree are they?
Okay, well, here's my thoughts on it actually, because you know how whenever we're rebooted or we die or we load into a match, there's always this flash of like a light
Blue,
blue.
right? Like a
I'm
digitization,
thinking that we sort of pass on some of that energy that we have
right?
into Kevin.
Which would make sense because it did say reboot. I would also like to point
True,
out
and
I'm pretty sure I was the first one to actually touch him. Feeling
yeah,
pretty
no,
proud of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Congrats on that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like I think, and because when notice when he came back, he didn't have his his runes anymore
It was
on
like a
there.
different, like, I think
It
there
was a
were
lot more
runes.
digital looking.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because like we're figuring, okay, this looks like a giant like hangar area as we're coming up, and then the cubes light up, and that's where things just get wild. The
Yeah,
explosions, the just everything raining down.
yeah. I'll be honest though. One thing I didn't expect at all for some reason was thousands of
Right,
Kevins.
no, like, and that was the thing.
I
Like looking back, like at the leaks, it makes sense because they said there was a biome called cubes with a like plural on it. But at the time,
yeah,
as I'm there, I'm not thinking about that until I did. I was like, wait a minute.
right. And it's like I knew there was gonna be a lot of Kevins around the map, but like I thought the mothership was going to send him down as a defense. Like,
No.
oh hey, look it, I'm stalling for time.
I'm
But
sure that's
no.
what they were gonna do originally. Like, I wouldn't put it past like
Yeah.
the aliens to think, okay, we send these downs, they're busy dealing with whatever it does, and then we can just focus on getting the 0 point and blowing the place up.
Also, I liked Salone's reaction to Kevin
She was fucking
reforming.
horrified. Yeah,
She was like, "Oh God, oh fuck, no, no!"
exactly.
But I would have loved to hear her reaction
If she
when
saw
we
all of
all
those,
found out that there was hundreds, if not thousands, of Kevins. I think at that point she was just like speechless, just like, ah,
yeah,
well, fuck.
right. I
Because
do
like,
want to point out a couple of things we might have missed is along with the the henchmen, there was also Farmer Steel. Like as we were falling, Farmer Steel falls past us with a chicken. I didn't pick
yeah,
up it was Farmer Steel at first, but then I rewatched it. I
I,
was like, oh yeah, that's Farmer Steel. Holy shit! And it makes sense because at the beginning of the season, it's like, oh, he got abducted.
yeah,
What?
he's gone. He's gone missing.
And then all of a sudden he's
Where'd he
back now.
go?
Now he's
Yeah,
back, so that'll be nice to see. Needless to say, I bet you Farmer Steel will have some sort of role next season, telling us more about like what went down on that ship. Maybe he knows something about the Kevin situation.
yeah, and like the fact that I mean I was there and I did see how Kevin did almost destroy the entire map.
Right, so that was
Um,
something I wanted to ask about because I remember seeing
yeah,
like clips from the events. I didn't realize he was
yeah.
in danger of destroying the map. I figured he was just rolling around, had some weird ass energy, makes that island,
Oh,
and then he drains.
no, 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 no. Yeah, you see, while he was rolling around, he was placing these things called
Yeah, I know
runes
about the
that,
runes. I know
over
about.
time, corrupted the area around it. And if
Oh,
given
okay.
enough time, those runes would have continued spreading the
Right, and we don't know what
corruption.
that would have done,
Um,
so I get what you mean. Yeah.
and also, uh, Kevin literally rolled into a lake and then lifted an island atop of him as a hat, and then started flying.
Right. So.
So I and you see when Kevin sadly cried himself to death,
Right.
um, that explosion,
Mm.
um, just the explosion from him cracking sent a map-wide apocalyptic event of zombies. Like it
Right.
was murky gray and purple and constant lightning strikes, which summoned the zombie
Which was
spawners.
a fun thing when you think about it, because like the zombie aspect mixed up the battle royale more.
Yeah, but
It
people
definitely, in
preference.
terms of story, could have fucked everyone over. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like not only that, that was just from him cracking, and I'm gonna assume that Io had a tiny bit of interference when it came to
No, they always
him
did.
actually blowing up. Because imagine what that would have done if
Sloane was very
his
sure
experiment
about him being gone, so that definitely means that she headed that as well.
exactly like she made sure that he died and also didn't cause mass destruction,
Now here's the
which
interesting part, right? Think about
yeah,
that. That means that the aliens were capable of taking a memory of an object and
mhm,
creating it anew on a massive scale. Not only were there God knows how many of him, they were bigger.
actually I don't think it was entirely our memories that brought Kevin back.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, yes, he was one of the main recurring themes. Um, it's like he wasn't the only thing in our memory that had caused massive
Right.
amounts of destruction to the map. So they would have combined all those elements together to create a true threat. I think that Kevin was the only feasible one they could bring back to terrorize the island and
Mm-hmm.
get rid of any loose threads that
That,
were keeping them
yeah,
from
that would
their
explain why they had us fight the Storm King during that. I think they were testing us, seeing how well we
exactly
could
they
take
were
it. Take it.
they right because they figured if we can't take down the Storm King, then we just send him in. But if we can, we
When,
send in the thing that the Storm King that was derived from.
right, because they saw
He,
that we were able to beat Caddis before, so Caddis wasn't an option.
yeah,
They saw that
I mean,
one person alone in a mech could take this thing down, and they're like, "Yeah, that's a bad idea."
true. But they must have seen the part where the mech had to grab the 0 point in order to defeat
Right.
the
But even then, I think
rival.
they figured that even then the Caddis wasn't enough. For some reason, they chose Kevin. Maybe it's been theorized they control his energy already. So it could be that they needed something that worked with that energy, and Kevin was the only thing that they could find in our memories that worked with it.
True. And you see, I find it strange that when they destroyed the spire, there was a huge energy wave. Because, well, yes, that does make sense from the energy trapped in the spire from the 0 point
Right.
resonating there for a little while with the foundation.
Hence why all the purple areas had a weird like humming when you went near them.
Exactly. But I think what that was the aliens destroyed the spire in order to get some of its energy because we know
Right.
that 0 point energy is like the fucking bomb
It
when it
literally.
comes to energy. And they must have somehow realized after they scanned our memories like, huh, you know, this other this purple energy we have that's already powering most of our machines, what would happen if we mixed them together, sort of?
Right.
Which, you know, I think they obviously did some tests and that probably came out with varying
That's probably what,
results.
like, obviously not only did they do tests for that, they tested us several
Exactly, they
times.
tested us and our capabilities.
No, I don't, and I'm
Of
not talking about just the Rift Tour. I'm talking about like whenever we got abducted.
yeah, no, that's what I'm referring to.
Oh, okay, yeah, so that's like what, and my always question, well, what is this testing for? Like,
They were I think they might have been testing us to see how capable we were in
mm,
fighting because they could get an idea from just observing, but having tests constantly occurring to
with
see all
weapons
the
that they
variations
choose. Yeah,
exactly, then they could get an idea of what we can be capable of. And clearly, they saw us as a threat
I mean,
because
yeah, the next time they abduct us, what do? They don't give us guns.
exactly, they don't give us guns. They still have our time packs on,
But of course, Sloan. I'll
but
give Sloan this. Aside from stabbing us in the back, she did good. The bombs did what they were supposed to, and she was able to keep us in there as long as we needed to be.
also, I think the main reason she abandoned us was she saw the
Kevin.
cube, and
Right.
she realized that if we get brought back,
The cube
the
could come.
cube could find a way back too.
Right.
So she figured, well, the 51% of this is the cube never gets to come back
Right.
if they stay up there. So, you know,
Right. It's a case of she was probably gonna do something else anyways to fuck with us. So just like the fact that it took that, like I don't know, it's one of those moments where I was sitting there. It's like I knew she was gonna betray us, but it does seem odd that this only became extremely obvious after she sees Kevin.
right. She was like, I think at that point it was confirmed in her mind, like, oh yeah, no, I'm not bringing these idiots back. I mean, they've done their purpose. I'm just gonna sit back, relax. The seven, they're probably scrambled. The
Yeah.
fucking
looking for
Their leader,
Foundation wherever he is.
their leader's gone. Don't know where he is, but
That was
I
that was the
doubt
only
he's.
regret. That was the only regret I have for this event that we didn't see Foundation.
I mean, what was he exactly gonna do,
Um,
right?
well,
We
maybe see
immediately
that's what I
get
was
sucked
saying
into the
before
mother
when I
ship.
when I messaged you earlier, right? Like if they probably would have told us already, but what if we got like a beginning like single player experience come tomorrow morning, and what happens is it cuts to when we get hit, but Foundation shows up and catches the piece because he's clearly capable of doing that shit.
Oh yeah, no, he can fly.
Yeah, he can
Motherfucker
fly.
out
He
here
literally
using
tears
zero
apart.
point energy to fly around.
Not just that, but he also tears like literal strands of 0 point energy and fucking puts them back
Exactly.
together.
He's able to unravel
Yeah,
it,
so
and
there's no way he
so
couldn't stop a
he's
giant
definitely
flying piece of
capable.
metal.
But
Whatever happens tomorrow, that's what's gonna tell us. Because I don't think any of our characters, quote unquote, died. I
yeah.
think it's just a, you know,
Oh no, we all just easily got knocked unconscious.
yeah,
Like we're able to take some beating.
yeah. Considering the fact
Um,
that like a gold RPG, which is supposed let's say is the most realistic RPG they put in the simulation, does only 130 health to us. Yeah, I think we're fine. I think
yeah,
I think we could survive getting hit with a piece of metal.
exactly. I mean, a big flaming molten piece of metal that probably pummeled us to the ground.
But
But
it's
yes,
Fortnite. You don't question it too
you
much.
know, exactly. But I think my hopes have been brought down significantly after the event, but it's still there. But the fact that Donald described the trailer as water, and
We could
obviously
definitely
spoiling
see
a little bit.
something to do with the Foundation pop up.
Yeah,
Whether or
the
not he's in the
story
battle
trailer.
pass doesn't matter.
But I think actually, one sec. Let me check how
Oh, see
long.
if any more teasers popped up because those are good.
Uh, no,
Nothing. All right.
no more. Which is fine. I mean, we have
Everything we
we
need.
yeah we only have a little bit of time before.
Actually, I think it's 5 a.m. Either way, though,
Yeah, but still, I mean, I'm gonna be up at 7.
I'm gonna be up all night. Coffee's gonna be my best friend tonight.
Okay, let me check the story trailer for the. Okay, yeah, so they're about this season's one and last season's one are gonna be basically the exact same um, length, which
Right.
means we then either we're gonna get another end credit scene where we see the Foundation exiting the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
or we're gonna.
Maybe with some assistance from Jones at that.
Exactly. So we're either going to get a post-credit scene, or he's going to be like the opener to it, since
Right.
they know that everyone cares about the Foundation
Right, and
to
that's
some.
another thing too is I think they've been learning their lessons about these crossover skins as the secret skins. Like
Yeah.
they've been learning their lessons. They still do it. Don't get me wrong, but they've been
Mhm.
learning their lessons. So I don't think because we got the teaser for Carnage.
Mhm.
Love to see it. You love to see it. As long, even if he's the secret skin, I wouldn't mind it. But so long as it isn't packed with them, I'll be
Right. Yeah.
like, hey, if I have to wait another season for Foundation, yeah, it's gonna suck because you know what, this season's perfect to bring him in. But you
Yeah.
know what, I wouldn't mind it
I
as
mean, I
as
would
long as we
hate to
get him
wait
at
another
some
season
point. As long as we get him
for
at some
Stan.
point.
Yeah, like if we get him at some point, I'll be happy. But like at the same time, I really can't wait another season
It's
for
one of
him.
those things. Yeah, it's like you don't want to wait, but you know
I
in reality you probably could wait.
I no, I've gotten to the point where I've gotten so hyped up for him that the longer like he isn't released with each passing season, the more my hype
Dies.
dies down a little
Right.
bit. Like it's gotten over the curve. It's starting to go down now. So
Right.
if he's not released this season, I have no fucking clue what's gonna happen. I mean, I still really love him, but like it's to the point where it's like, please just fucking give, just.
Right.
And I mean, if he's just in the battle pass regularly, then
Put him on the higher
sure,
end.
fine, you know.
60 to
It,
100. That's where I can see him being.
yeah, exactly. You know, not easy to get to, but you'll probably get him if you play.
Yeah,
Um,
literally, if this season was anything to go by, XP is going to be easy as hell.
yeah,
Which I hope it
and
is, because you know what? This season actually felt balanced with how much XP you needed.
yeah, wasn't too easy, but also wasn't the hardest thing.
Right, and it definitely helps that we had multiple events with like special challenges.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely helped. But like, let me tell you, the Foundation comes out. I'm getting the Battle Pass booster, and I'm fucking grinding.
I don't
It's
blame you,
like,
man. That is a good skin to grind for.
like, if you give me an opportunity to get him,
I
without
am probably,
having to
but
wait,
I am probably gonna put the teasers up here so people can see them. But yeah, some of the teasers for some of the skins we're getting, I'm pretty sure all of these are battle pass skins. But they even if they're not, they look good. We're getting some sort of yandere girl. We're getting some sort of unicorn man who's fucking awesome, and his loading screen, I'm pretty sure confirms railguns and plasma rifles. Let's go.
well,
If it doesn't, oh well. But it'd be nice to keep them because they're very useful.
yeah. I
Uh,
don't like how realistic fucking teaser is for that. It gets so unnerving, actually.
yeah, that's what's gonna make him a great meme skin, man. And then of course we have that Russian chimp dude
Yeah.
who everyone's making comparisons to that one movie where the chimpanzee is an astronaut, or whatever.
Actually, I made the joke of him being Winston.
Well, you made that joke, and that was a good one. But I've seen other people make
Zach,
like
I'm
the.
about to send you an image.
Oh dear lord, I'll have to put it in the video then. Actually, no, they'll see. Oh Jesus.
You got games on your phone?
He's gonna be great. People are gonna see that. It's just gonna be in the bottom, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, no. So it is a case of yeah, this is going to be a great season. If these teasers are anything to go by, content wise, we're not too sure, but skin wise, like if these are all
I mean,
battle
like,
pass,
the entire map is getting changed, or at least like
yeah,
70% of it.
a lot of it's
It's
getting
like,
changed. We're supposed to get some sort of pyramid POI. We're getting a bunch of cubes everywhere. A sideways with monsters around Halloween, which should be very interesting. Let me tell you.
like this map is gonna be fucking crazy.
Honestly, when I was falling down during the event, I thought maybe I spotted a volcano had formed. I was like, nah, never mind. I'm just seeing the flames. I'm seeing the burning of civilization.
Yeah, no. Steamy's gone.
Damn, love Steamy.
Misty gone.
Pleasant Park doesn't look like it got touched, at least not in the final moments. But who knows?
There might be some damage.
Because there's still a lot. There was still a lot of debris that was falling down as we were getting hit.
Holly Hedges gone.
Gone. Well, to be fair, it had
Hummingbirds,
gone. Sludgy swamp is now a thing, so it doesn't really need to disappear.
Weeping Woods definitely gone.
Which sucks, because I love going there just to burn the place down.
Yeah. Chip did it for you.
Honestly, I made a joke, I think, Season 5, when the Dragon's Breath shotgun came out. I was on Twitter, and people were talking about how much they loved the gun, at least in, like, a wooded area. I was like, Weeping Woods is no more. There's only flaming fields. And then everyone's like, that would actually make a killer POI. I'm like, yeah. So if we see something along those lines today, I'm going to be so happy.
Gonna claim royalties.
I'm not going to claim
This was
royalties,
my
but it'll be
idea.
nice to...
I came up
It,
with it before you.
nah, it would just be nice to say, yeah, I had the same idea as them. Because we know they've had this plan for a while. In fact, again, another piece of Rusher's video mentioned that banner that Donald Mustard has, he used back in Season 5 by accident.
Yeah.
So that means
We still have no fucking clue what it's for.
It is the 0 point, we can tell that.
Well, yeah, obviously, but like, what's the context?
Right, so it could be some sort of in-between reality where the 0 point exists just openly. It's hard to tell, and that's the problem.
Maybe that's reality zero?
There's a lot of questions, right? Because we took down these aliens, but I want to doubt some survived.
Yeah.
Because if we could survive, those guys had spaceships.
Not anymore.
Well, at least not at the abductors. The abductors are gone. But like those spaceships that attacked us on the bridge, which again I loved. I love that. It reminded me so much of there was this. Actually, it reminded me of a bunch of things because Knights of the Old Republic. There was this area where you get locked up on a Sith cruiser, like a big, like the equivalent of a Star Destroyer. You should know what those are. The big triangular ships. Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah. So basically, it was like you get locked up on basically one of those, and you can actually choose what character too. It's hilarious. You get to choose a bunch of different options on how to get out. And when you do it, like you have to be stealthy. You have to make your way through. You have to just be systematic about it. And that's what I was feeling when we first leave. We leave the prison area. We get to the bridge. I'm feeling Destiny vibes. I'm feeling Halo vibes actually. And I've only played a few Halo game, like one Halo game, and a few hours of a couple others. Like holy shit. Jack and Daxter. Oh my god, Jack and Daxter 2. That's like specifically because the beginning of the game you have to escape a prison. I love levels like that. So something this event literally catered to that part of my likes, and that's why it was so good. I mean, at least for me, it was so good. And we see Bill and Ted in the hatchery room. Poor guys. Those poor dudes.
Hey, Zach, something just got released. Not by Fortnite, but by the leakers.
What? What?
Apparently one of the cubes that we saw today
Mm-hmm.
is called Kevin Queen. Now, we have a few
Oh.
guesses.
Well, they did mention a Queen character. A while.
Exactly.
So that.
Kevin Queen. I
So
could only... One second, let me send you another image. I could only imagine what that could be referring to.
no.
That's my guess.
If
That's my
if it
theory.
is the golden one,
That's-
I will.
That's Kevin Queen.
Or maybe the blue one is. Like we don't know. We just know there's going to be an important character referred to as the Queen. I don't know how
Well,
a
I
cube
mean,
can be have a gender, but you
All
know.
the others were purple. We turned one blue. There
Right.
was only one other color.
And that's if that was a
wasn't
cube, which I
created
think
by us.
I'm pretty sure that was a cube.
Oh yeah, that cube's probably gonna be somewhere.
My friend was making the joke that Midas got turned into a cube, funniest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, fuck off, because like I wouldn't doubt that the golden color has some sort of significance, and if it is just a case of Midas touched it, then first of all, that means he went to space at some point.
Nah, I doubt it.
Again,
I think
this
that's
is like this is what I'm saying. It's a bit of a stretch, but if this is the case, if he did have some connection to that, then it would make sense. He has to have touched it at some point, unless it's just naturally like that. If it's naturally like that, then that adds a whole new layer to it. Like, okay, so cubes are living beings. They, well, I mean, moved around. Again, it's one of those things where it's so confusing because we know that the Save the World storyline and the Battle Royale storyline are two different storylines. However, certain relationships, certain characters, they cross to both of them. Penny and Power Chord being that like punk rock skin,
Yeah.
they're sisters
Yeah.
that stayed in and saved the world. And when you talk to Power Chord back when she was an NPC as Penny, she even said, "Oh, sis, you made it here too." It was like, interesting. So whatever the case is with these cubes, whether or not I've always said that okay, well maybe Save the World was onto something when they said that Kevin and the Storm King are one the same or have an extension to each other. Whether or not that's true, there's clearly some sort of entity that either controls them or resides within them to some extent.
I mean, I personally think the cubes are alive in some way.
They clearly are if they're able to move around the map autonomously.
Well, I mean, that could easily just be a bit of technology. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be that hard.
All I know is
I think
Sloane's going to be in deep shit this season. Like if
Oh, yeah,
if
no.
she is not the
I-
head person at IO, she is in deep shit.
Oh yeah.
Because from what we could tell of Jones, he was successful enough to be higher up, but he was still, the guy you send in to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
So
also,
that. Go
I
ahead.
still find it funny that Stallone's final orders to Jones, even though we didn't hear them, were don't draw attention to the seven.
And then he just goes
then
straight up and
a
looks for them.
season later, he's like, "Hey, Stallone, I'm going to the seven."
Lamau.
And then he happened to just bring out the leader and was like,
Whether or not he intentionally aimed for Foundation doesn't matter. Either,
I doubt he did. I think he was just hoping for one of them.
and he just happened to catch them at the right time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's another thing too, is because like we talked about this the other day. We've had Jonesy, we've had Sloan. All we're missing is Foundation.
Of the trio.
Right.
is my boy.
That being said, of course, we are also missing the sisters and possibly Geno if Geno is a person.
I think Geno's a place. I think
Maybe
Geno's a place.
that's what Reality Zero is. Gen O, Gen Zero, Generation Zero, Reality Zero. Bit of a stretch, but it could make sense. It would explain a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think that Geno's a place based on how Jonesy said it.
I can get you to Geno, which it definitely sounds like a
Yes.
place the way he puts it. At the same time, it
I mean,
could
yes,
also be
it
someone
could
trapped in a
interpreted as,
captivity.
like, I can get you to Geno, the creature, but like the way he said it and the way Foundation responded, I think Geno is where the sisters are being
Right, and that's another thing too is
kept.
if it was a place, then why didn't Jonesy respond with "I can get you to there and to them," but instead he just says "I can get you all of them."
Yeah.
So that's where it's like it could be a place, but it
I
could
think
also be a person.
I think get you all of them is referring to the sisters.
Right, and then that's
Because
another thing. That's another question too. Is like how many sisters?
exactly. People are assuming it's two because
Gemini.
we need.
We had a bunch of teasers mentioning something about Gemini. Like there was a spectrogram that showed that icon. I think it was.
Yeah, I think there's personally I think there's probably more than two
Mm-hmm.
because I doubt they're members of the seven.
Right.
Like,
I don't know if they're members of the seven that have just been captured. I don't know if they're just heads of IO. I don't know what or who they are, but I'm interested to see where that goes.
yeah, because like also like the Foundation, he's definitely awake by this point. A
Yeah.
literal ship came crashing down around and onto the island. Like,
Right.
there's no way that motherfucker
And
slept through that.
unless the rift that he came through teleported him to a different reality, because rifts can do that.
I doubt it.
I'm not saying it did, but that is a possibility we need to keep in mind.
It's a possibility, but
And
like,
even then, he could still come back.
be...
He has the technology to do it.
Yeah, but like, what would be the point of having him be rifted to another reality?
That
only
is
for it to just be an ocean, like
ocean man.
There's very clear oceans surrounding the island, so I think
Right.
he's probably just rifted somewhere around those.
Right,
So
and I did see some clips of people trying to figure it out based on positioning of backgrounds and shit. I was like, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking somewhere out to the west of the island.
Yeah, I definitely think the Foundation's gonna come back in some way, shape, or form this season. Also, can I just say there's probably gonna be another live event next season.
There's no reason not to. Although
there's never a Kevin season that doesn't have a live event.
Right. And at that point, we do need to keep in mind, though, if there isn't, I wouldn't blame them, because from the look of this one, it took a long time to put together. The animations, we had 2 live events technically this season. One of which changed via our skin and choice in rap.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I gotta put it hands down to them. One of the best events ever.
Listen, I just don't see a way for them to satisfyingly end off a Kevin-based season without some sort of live event. Like, I'm not saying it has to be like a major one, but like, there has to be some reason why there's now, like, some reason as to why.
A couple dozen, if not hundreds, of.
Yeah, like
Kevins.
I don't know how many Kevins are going to be on the map now, because I thought. Oh, they'll probably be like, like...
The map will probably be decrypted in a couple
9.
hours. The map will probably be decrypted in a couple hours. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna try and go to bed at like 12, so that way I can get a good night's rest.
Mm-hmm.
Because the trailers premiere at like 2 a.m. and I'm not staying up for that. And then
Which is funny, right? Because like, technically it went straight into downtime after the event, but it's not actual downtime until 2 a.m. That's when they start to put in everything.
Exactly, and it's like I'm not waiting until then to fucking check out that shit. Like I'll wake up in the morning and see it.
As someone who did not get called into work tomorrow, I'm doing it. I'm staying up for this one. This is.
Listen, Zach, I have one request.
I will not spoil anything for you.
No. If you see any Foundation stuff.
Oh, I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm keeping my mouth shut.
No. I don't want you to tell me anything about it, but just message me whenever you find out about it. Just put the number 7.
All right.
Just type out the number 7 and DM it to me, just like that.
That sounds like a perfect way to do it.
Nothing, just so that way I can be hyped about it.
Right.
And then figure out what it is later. So like, just
it could be the smallest thing ever, but I will still send it to you. I will literally watch those things back in half speed and everything.
Yeah. So like, any Foundation news, like even if it just says, "Oh, he's been updated."
You mean anything? You don't just mean trailers. Okay. Yeah. I'll keep my eyes down.
Any news about him, I am giving a very large margin of.
I will say this. Whether or not this season's good or not. I think it's gonna be good. Like it looks like it's
Oh yeah, no. Like there's gonna be Kevins everywhere. There's no way this isn't good.
like it looks like we're getting a huge map change. Clearly, like
Mhm.
story wise, it's amping up because now Sloane's gonna be in either deep shit or just has a fucking mess she needs to clean.
Exactly.
And I guess
'Cause
canonly
I
speaking,
want her reaction to just
I think canonly
a
speaking,
bunch
she's
of
gonna be
Kevins.
reaching out to different snapshots, or maybe we intercept. I don't know, because that's the weird thing, right? One of the skins in the battle pass says, "Hey, recruits," and that's the chimpanzee guy we were talking about. So maybe he's the new guy we work with. I don't know who we're gonna work with. Are we gonna
There
work
better
for us?
be a Kevin skin in the battle pass. There has to be.
We've only had 4 decrypted so far, man, or
I
not
know.
decrypted, but like shown to us.
Yeah. It's like you can't just have an entire Kevin season. Have a Kevin
If he isn't,
outfit
if he
in the
isn't,
works.
if he isn't in the battle pass, he will probably be released on Halloween.
Yeah, just like an item shop skin or a crew pack or fucking whatever.
I wouldn't put it past him
I
to do
need a
group pack, but it
Kevin
won't be
skin.
it won't be an October group pack. I can tell you that. We already
Yeah,
know who
no.
that's gonna be.
We
Fuck.
already know who the next 2 crew packs are gonna be, but like
God.
there needs to be a Kevin.
Right.
It's
I'm
been too
I'm
long.
hoping
You
now,
can't
right?
just-
Because like, look, we already have a basic idea what's happening this season in terms of skins. What I'm hoping for within the next couple seasons, because I know these take a while to set up, but considering the fact that Disney and Epic are like hand in hand on this one. Again, as someone who likes Knights of the Republic, and we just got the remake announcement, perfect way to build hype. Put Revan in the game. It's another Star Wars skin. Gives an excuse to bring back the other Star Wars skins so you can make more money off of those. It just does so much. And it's sad that like my first thought for if you're gonna put a skin in, it's a collab skin. But that's just what this game's come to, and it's not a bad thing. It's not. It can work.
We already got Carnage.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We're getting Carnage in the Battle Pass, Naruto in the item shop, which again is a big step forward because we've only ever had comics and video game characters and a couple movie characters, but having an actual anime character, especially one of the big 3, that's gonna get people to play your game.
Like that's.
I know who you want, trust me, but
this is gonna be. This is gonna be a crazy season.
we might be seeing a mummy skin because there was something about that in the battle, in a rumor. So if we see that, would not be surprised if that was like a 5th battle pass skin, which I'm okay with. Halloween-based skins make sense for the season, but don't make it all Halloween.
Yeah, like give us some variety.
But definitely throw in a couple of Halloween themed skins because as someone who barely has any of those, yeah, no, I could kind of use one. Not gonna lie.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, so yeah, Donald Mustard again, like he really knew what he was doing with this because he wrote everything that goes down here. He's the one that does all the collabs. Like these past few seasons, say what you will about them in terms of like weekly updates, they were fucking bangers.
Yeah.
Like this entire chapter has been great, especially chapter 2 season 2. Like everyone loved that thing. Everyone showed up for that.
Yeah.
Season 4 they lost a bunch of players because of no one liked the crossover and Apple players got fucked. But come season 5 and things are starting to pick up. The story is starting to be more focused.
Right.
And there was a reason why they introduced characters that they did during seasons 2 and 3. Because again, they planned this stuff in advance. It's not like they're, completely idiots. Especially not like Donald, fucking hell, man. Like I know he probably will never see this, but like if he does, my dude, you've been knocking it out of the park so far. I cannot wait to see where you go with this next.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like this is going to be a great season. I can already tell. Now, weapon-wise, we have much ideas of what's going on. We can take guesses based on that one loading screen, but what more can we ask for, right? Like maybe a new shotgun update, like swap out a shotgun, put a new one in, or just bring back an old one. Like I'd like to see the heavy shotgun make a return. Like I miss that gun.
That'd be interesting.
The combat would be great to see back too. We haven't seen that since what, chapter 4, chapter 2, season 4. I want to say. Because I think I remember seeing it in some gameplay videos back when we played during that season. I think I remember seeing myself use it.
It wasn't a very popular.
Right, because they nerfed it a bunch. It could still snipe. Like, it could still work and do that and, like, basically just beam people from across the map and help get their shields down. But I don't know, man. Like, and the charge shotgun, I'm glad that's been vaulted. Like, if that comes back, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, I hate
It's one of
this.
those weird shotguns, right? Where like the pros seem to love it, then you find out, oh no, no one liked it. It's like that's a lie though.
It's it's the pump, but worse.
Right, and like at least with the like the only thing it has over the pump is like when you don't charge it, it's quicker to like let you shoot again.
But still, it's kind of
Yeah, if you don't charge it up, you're being a dumbass.
yeah.
Now Mythics, we gotta talk about this. Mythics, what are
Mm,
you looking for this season? Like what type of gun would you like to see get into Mythic?
I honestly don't know. I don't have a great idea of what I'd want to myth because like the mythics recently haven't been too appealing, you know.
Yeah, after Marvel's season, it wasn't that like Mando's was great and all. You know, had infrared scope,
Yeah,
but it
and
was all
Predators was pretty good. You know,
it was good for running away, but that was
it's
about it.
I mean, it was good for my plays.
Yeah, basically.
I
I
don't know
didn't
about
mind using it. It was fun to
anyone
use. It
else.
was fun to use, but aside from that, the only one we had then was the jetpack and the rifle. And my only issue with the rifle is, yeah, it had that infrared, which made it amazing. Let me tell you, won one of my first solo games with that. But it only does the damage of a blue bolt action.
Yeah, that was a little.
And then even though May the 4th came up around that season, we never got the E11 blasters back or the lightsabers, which I would love to see
Yeah,
those come back.
yeah, those would be fun because I like them.
They were
You
so
know.
they were so much fun. Honestly, the Marvel power ups were great. Like I said in season 4, season 6. What did we have in season 6? We had the Primer rifle, the Primer shotgun, and the bow. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So and they weren't bad. It's just all they really had was a damage upgrade.
Yeah.
I like the ones that gave you unique abilities, like Deadpool's pistols. I think they gave you shields on hit, health on kill. Uh, and then the rest of them were kind of like eh. Yeah, I mean like Midas's drum gun I think had like the old damage stats, and then there was oh wait season 3 we had the Chug Jug as a mythic and that was really fun. The mythic grappler had infinite ammo. The Brutus's minigun had a tighter spread. It was like honestly when they first introduced like mythics for good, because like we'd had mythics before. You know, we had the lightsabers in chapter 2 season 1. We had the the Infinity Blade. We had all that shit, but we didn't have like full on. Hey, here's a mythic gun. Go out and shoot some motherfuckers.
Right.
And because what they do is they cause this great early game where people drop at this location to fight over it. And granted, if it's not that good of a gun, they'll leave it alone after a while. But it was still a fun one. Like, you know what sucks about this season?
What?
Sloan's Mythic Pulse Rifle, it wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah.
Like, if it maybe distorted your enemy and let them see like 4 of you and there was only really 1 of you, maybe. But
Mm,
that would have caused some model issues. Let's be honest here. But we've done that before with clone grenades.
yeah.
So I don't think it would have been outside the realm of possibility, considering the fact that she literally splits herself into 4. Which, let
I
me tell you, is
mean,
hard to fight because they
I,
all do
I would have.
damage.
I would love a weapon that when you hit someone, it kind of distorts their view in the way of like it creates this like fade around the edges where it looks super. Uh, I don't really have a good
I, I get what
way
you're
to
trying to
describe
say. It's like just something that
it,
kind of
but, like
that basically something that can give
kind
you
of
an edge but wouldn't be overpowered. Something that's
yeah, like
actually
something
worth
that
fighting
kind of
over.
clouds their view and maybe gives a little bit of chromatic abbreviation
Maybe
with it.
fucks with their
You
aim
know?
assist.
No, no, because not everything has aim assist. So
That's
like,
fair, I guess.
so I think it could maybe do that and also get rid of the crosshair for a short
Yeah,
while.
it's got to do something because like I feel like a gun could that can do that. Like I feel like they have the capabilities to make something that could do that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the only other mythic we had this season, Zig and Choppy's Ray, which, my god, that damage. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
But they were so fucking hard to find. If you didn't pay attention to where they were going every update, you were fucked. And I think after maybe the third or fourth update, I never saw it get used again. Like after their third or fourth movement, I never saw anyone using it. I never went to get it.
Yeah.
it was just one of those things where it's like, well, what now?
Right.
So what I'm really hoping for, maybe because if we do get some sort of like what was it called? If we do get some sort of mummy skin, maybe they'll be on the map as a boss. And we can get some sort of like not a scatter grenade, but like some sort of grenade that's just like scarabs or something that does damage over time. Like
Yeah.
sort of think like firefly jars, but it works like a chug can where you get a couple of shots and then it recharges.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can see something like that. It would fit the theme of the area. It would fit the theme of the skin. And again, this is assuming the skin's real and shit.
Right.
And this is the reason why I'm very confused, right? So this is the reason why I don't even know if what Donald Mustard said about Naruto being in the season at all is true. Because the original leak was he'll be in the battle pass and we'll get like mythic like equivalents of Batman's batarangs, but they're just knives. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but if he's not a battle pass skin, it seems odd to make him a boss with a mythic item. You know what I mean? Like with Shadow Midas, it made sense because we'd had Midas before, so all his drum gun really was the same gun with like a undead aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
So in terms of mythics, we really don't know what to expect for this season, and that's going to be very interesting to see what they do.
I'm excited.
And then there's the teasers we've been seeing, these Mad Max looking loading screens, which I wouldn't mind it. Just again, don't make it a battle pass crossover skin.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen Mad Max, it's okay, but it's not something I would want in my battle pass.
Right. Like make it an item shop thing.
Like, there's certain skins I'll say yes, do the crossover as a battle pass. Yes, do that crossover as an item shop. Hell, do that one as a fucking crew pack. There's certain ones I can see doing it, but this is not one of the ones I see for battle pass.
Yeah.
I think another thing we really need to think about is they just lost a bunch of money in that court case.
They did.
Granted, they're going to make that money back in no time. Let's be honest here.
Mhm.
But at the same time, from November to I think its current date,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money, especially when it's 30% of whatever they made.
Yeah.
It's not like a set amount. It's, hey, do the maths, find it out. I think the maths were done. I think it's like over 3 million or 30 million or something like that. They just made a shit ton of money and then they lost a lot of it. Yeah, no. So like, there's just a lot. Whatever the case, again, I'm really excited for this. This event was something else to say the least. Like just going around the ship. I'm a little bit upset we didn't see more of the ship. I think most of what we saw was just like those tubes and the same room where we always fight, but just with the bombs and shit.
Honestly, it's definitely in my top.
Oh no, it's still up there as like one of the best ones I've ever seen. Like, cause I've seen clips of all the old ones. I've only been to a couple myself.
Mhm.
However, I still have a ranking to it, and the end is definitely up there as well, along with Galactus.
Honestly, the end is still currently at top for me. I don't think there's a lot that could beat that.
So for me, it goes Galactus is number one because that was like the first one I properly experienced, and it was like holy shit. I don't count the concerts. If I did, Travis Scott would be up there, I guess, but. Eh.
Circle mold.
Yeah. So it goes Galactus. This one, it's Operation Skyfire. I'm gonna count the single player experience we got back in season 6 because that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh,
It wasn't that bad.
Black Hole was number 3. Then comes that one. Rocket Event number 4 or number 5, and then yeah, that's it. That's my top
It
5.
depends on what you mean by black hole event.
The season X.
Yeah, because if you're describing that as the end event, then
Yeah. Well, I figured it was the only black hole we've technically had.
yeah, but still, it's nice to stick the top. Yeah, mine goes the end, Operation Skyfire. I think after that would probably be probably my gut's saying the Kevin's death and
Mhm.
the show off of the in between butterfly
That was really
what
cool
do you call
stuff.
it? Yeah, no, like that, like those were a bunch of really cool ones. Then probably Galactus and
Hmm.
so on and so forth. It's like
I'm a little bit upset you didn't say your signature line today. Then again, you weren't in first person, so there's no chance.
exactly. I had no reason to. It would have fell out of place and force, so I decided against it.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I think
I
that
did scream about Kevin a lot though.
I think that covers most of it. I mean, we talked about the event,
Yeah.
what we're looking forward to, what we love. Like this season in general was just
Oh,
absolute
uh,
fucking
what do you? What's your wish list for season 8?
some sort of new gun. Definitely, I like when they introduce like new funnier guns. You know what I mean? Like the Proper Fire. That was hilarious. I love that.
I mean, I never used it, but it did seem fun.
Listen, man, I got some dude actually thought I belonged when I used the gnome, even though I was
Oh
nowhere.
yeah,
I was like, you're so you're. So, I was just thinking to myself, this guy's so stupid. Gnomes
some
don't
people
spawn
will.
here. But so yeah, the Proper Fire was a fun one. So something not like another Proper Fire, but like something as stupid as that would be funny again. Um, like I said, please keep railguns. Don't let that loading screen just be a concept. Railguns so
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Oh, plasma cannons. What am I forgetting? Why am I forgetting my boys? Those plasma cannons, man. I need them. Helps so much. Skin wise, just out of the other four we don't know about, I'd say let the mummy one be true because that one's a decent one.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Uh, I think they're good on the crossover skins though. I think one is fine. Uh,
Yeah,
I would like to see Foundation, but I'm not 100% expecting it.
yeah. I mean, this is a wish list. So,
Right. I would love to see Foundation. And if they're not gonna put Naruto as like a battle pass skin, that's fine. I just hope that they introduce a few more characters to go with him because honestly, I know you probably obviously I know you didn't watch it and you probably wouldn't be a fan. I don't
I
know. But
watched it when I was super young, so I don't remember any of it, but I know I enjoyed it.
I think you would enjoy it now too. I mean, the newer series no one really likes Boruto, but I kind of enjoy it. So
Did you
maybe
just say his name is Boruto?
he has a kid named Boruto.
Sounds boring.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You just had to do it, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Well, all right, but yeah, no. So like, I definitely want to see if they do bring Naruto into the item shop. Do bring some other characters along with them, because as much as I like Naruto, if I had a choice between some of the characters, I would pick someone else entirely before him,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep it banging it out of the park. Because they did really well with content this update, like this
Right.
season.
Yeah.
They changed altered the map slightly, and even if it wasn't much, it was still they added stuff. They did what they needed to. They introduced new guns. They basically did everything that they used to do, and people enjoyed this season. It shows.
Yeah.
I like the. I know a lot of people think this is controversial, but I kind of like the abductor thing. I know they can't do the abductor specifically anymore, but maybe along those lines. Because let me tell you something. If when a sweat can beat you with a gray AR when you got full gold loot, there's an issue. Or not even full gold
Yeah.
loot, but you know what I mean. When you have better loot than them, but they can still beat you with like low tier loot, then and you need that advantage. It's understandable.
Right. Yeah.
So it'll definitely be maybe that's what the sideways thing will be as well, not just like a source from rideable. Because there's a thing that it might be rideable monsters,
Hmm.
which would be kind of funny. Coming on some sort of demon lizard,
Giant Komodo dragon.
just on the back of like a fucked up Demogorgon or something.
No. No.
We ride to victory.
uh,
But yeah, no. So, what about you? Wish list. Come on.
okay. I'm going in order here. Foundation.
Clearly.
A bunch of really big map changes, which it seems is going to be the case. So that one's
Exactly. Yeah.
rest assured. Uh, a Kevin skin, like a legit skin of Kevin.
Okay. Fair enough.
Cube head and lightning and all that.
I've seen some fan
Um,
art of that. That could definitely be done.
I've seen they have official concepts of it, and I fucking love it. Um, but yeah, so those are three. I mm, constant, like, really good updates. Like, they were working back towards it this season,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, I kind of want it to be stepped up a slight notch,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
considering the fact that we have multiple Kevins on the island
Right.
now. And we all know they don't like to stay still,
Mm-hmm.
so
So maybe see them rotate around eventually, something like that.
yeah, something like that would be cool. You know, maybe. I
And
don't really know what else. I think that's
any crossovers you can think of that you might want to
ooh,
see that are
crossover
possible as of right
that are
now?
feasible. Yeah. I don't. Oh, I want a Muso skin still.
Oh, it's some
I
sort of new
still want
icon.
that.
Definitely would love
Still,
to see that.
yeah, new Muso icon series skin, please. That'd be great. Fucking what else? What is a movie that could feasibly have a Koga?
Well, no one really likes the human characters in Godzilla, but I'm sure that'd be nice to see.
What about just a guy dressed up as Godzilla?
Nice little funny. That maybe, hey, yeah, something. I mean, Halloween is coming, so it definitely makes sense.
Oh, Spider-Man collab.
I think we're
Spider-Man
gonna
No
get
Way Home.
that too. So like, don't hold your breath, but at the same time, don't be surprised if it happens.
Exactly. Like that's one I really want. Uh, yeah. What? There's something else. It's fucking. Uh, I guess just good skins really is
Like
my
we got
main.
some decent ones this season. We
Good
didn't get a
skins,
lot of them.
good story,
Of course.
like stuff like that.
I don't think the story's gonna be an issue though.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have multiple Kevins rolling around the map. I don't think there's much that you couldn't do with that.
Right.
You could have a bunch of them form into a giant cube. You could have fucking
Polluting
them
the
all get.
water supply. Who fucking knows?
You could do so much
You know,
with
remember we were
that.
talking about that mechanic they were testing, right? What if,
Yeah.
what if, as part of the legendary quests this season, we go around to each POI and purify or reboot one of the cabins each week? And what it does is it measures how many people do it to trigger how fast it happens or something. I don't know. Like,
Well, you have to remember that the Kevin has to be nullified
right, so there'd
before
probably be
that
something to do.
happens.
Yeah, there'd probably be something to do with
So
that.
we
But
couldn't just walk up to a Kevin and be like, "Hey, yo, Kevin!"
let me touch you
Like
real quick.
he would fucking kill us.
Right. I mean, I'm sure there'd probably
Jeez.
be either a way to nullify them or something. Like, I'm sure they'd find a way if they
Right.
do it. It's just a question of how.
Right. Like maybe it's like a once every bit in a while, like there's an announcement saying, "Hey,
Another cube got
we,"
went dormant or something.
or maybe like, "Hey, we're able to nullify all the Kevins for a short while. Get in there and try and reboot one." And
Right.
then everyone goes to a different Kevin, but the one with the most.
Yeah, it gets rebooted first or something.
But if they're all like distributed, like everyone goes to a different one, and like there's no leading one.
Maybe it's just there's a set path they can go with because I feel like if they do that, it will be like a set thing. Like no, they're gonna purify them. There's no way they can't.
Right.
It's
But
just
like there's something's big is gonna happen.
right because there's no reason for them to introduce a mechanic where they can measure how many times a certain object's broken or touched or whatever, and not have a plan for that.
And also show in the event that when a Kevin's nullified, we can reboot them to make them less
Right.
hostile. You know?
Yeah, and that's assuming that that they play a big role. I think that they will, but if they
Yeah.
don't, I also wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
Because some of these Kevins that we saw on the ship were definitely smaller than the one we were with.
Right.
So I wouldn't doubt that only certain ones. I'm sure there'll be like certain ones and certain POIs like they're
Although I
big.
think that could have just been like a perspective thing to
Right,
save
right.
space. Like they couldn't build like an actual like huge mothership
Right.
interior that would make sense. So they scaled everything down.
Which you know what, that's fine. Like I said, I just have really good feelings about this and this Kevin storyline, which will tie into the main storyline. Because clearly, if Io is that afraid of them, or at least Sloane is, that's going to be interesting to see how they react to multiple.
I want to see how the Foundation reacts to Kevin.
Maybe
really
he
wanna see
invented Kevin. Maybe that's the reason why, because he figures you destroy the island to expose the 0 point. I don't know. Like,
no.
because it's clear he doesn't
That's-
agree with IO.
I mean, technically, yes, they indirectly created Kevin by, the Visitor using Rift and the Rift energy eventually swelling into
Yeah.
its chaotic nature that.
Like,
ended up
lore knows
creating
how they're gonna do it, but
Like, I want to know. I need to know how the Foundation reacts to Kevin, and especially multiple of them, because you know that they know about Kevin.
right.
Like,
I mean,
if IO knows about him.
yeah,
they
the 7
fucking
definitely know.
about him.
I do find it funny though, right? Because the Foundation was able to tear apart literal strands of reality and repair them. I think he wouldn't be too phased by Kevin. I think he'd be like, "Oh, really? This is your issue? I eat this shit for breakfast."
I don't know why, but I really wanted the story trailer to just be Foundation coming out of the water, like maybe Salone and a bunch of IO guards in like a transport vehicle, going to a place to get out of the loop, like a bunker.
Yeah.
The Foundation flying over and just demolishing their vehicle, and
It was like,
then just
"Where is
fucking
he? Where's
bodying
Jones?
Salone. Like,
Where's
he just fucking beats the the daylights out of her.
Well, you know
just
for
to
a
be
fact
like,
they wouldn't show him
"Oh."
beating the crap out of her, because I hate to admit it, there is some sensitivity in the world. I'd be like, "Oh, he can't beat a woman," and technically
But,
speaking,
like, she did try and kill everyone.
right? And I wouldn't put it past that. Like, if it's look,
Like, maybe not like beat the living daylights out of her, but like really tough her up a bit. Like,
yeah,
really
do what he did to
roughhouse
Jonesy.
her.
Headbutt her
okay,
real quick.
Like, yeah, like
Break her
stuff like that,
glasses.
and maybe just like throw her away, like fucking, woo, like he did with Jones.
Yeah.
And have her just fucking crumple and be like, what do you want? And then be like, Jenna, the sisters Jones.
Like, in that order, specifically. I don't give a damn about Jones.
I don't give a dimsdale dim-a-damn about him. Get me those, and get me to him, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, this
Like-
season it's shaping up pretty good.
It's gonna...
Another 4 hours per downtime starts, and that's probably where a lot of encrypted shit's gonna come.
Yeah. Once again, you don't know what to do if there's any news on the Foundation.
No, I've got it right here in front of me if it does happen.
Good. Because I want to wake up and see a 7 or not see a 7. I don't care how minuscule it is. I don't care if it's just his set being updated for some reason. I need
Yeah.
every bit of it.
Alright.
Oh,
I think that covers everything. This has
yeah,
been good.
I think that's
This has
good.
been the first episode of Event Review. I think I'm going to call this one.
Ooh, nice.
Do this after every event. Yeah, maybe I'll throw in the concerts too, just to...
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Because there was a lot of story implications of what happened today, and that was something I needed to have my thoughts out there.
All right, yeah.
So, thank you for being part of this. Again, this has been great. Like, this is the type of shit I love.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I think this season is going to be one of the best.
Yeah.
Like, they did good.
For sure.
Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Oh! Oh no!
Oh,
no.
wiped it out. What the fuck?
Oh no.
Does anyone else see that UFO?